On the economic front, the IMF now says that there is a slight uptick in the economic numbers, but slight it is. And the fund is still warning of very serious economic damage being done in the advanced economies and specifically in the developing world. A short while ago, I spoke to the IMF's chief economist to ask about the financial lifelines that will be necessary.
You got an initial what looks like a V, and then it's no longer looks like a V, which is that it's a much more longer, prolonged recovery. But secondly, for the first time, we have our medium-term projections, which tell you that this is going to be a permanent hit into the medium term. I mean, countries are not coming back up, even by 2025, to their pre-pandemic projected path. The world economy is going to be 4% smaller than what we had projected pre-pandemic, even in 2025. So this is a long, slow ascent, and still remains highly uncertain.
And is the fund satisfied, by and large, with the government's response? I mean, there's been huge fiscal activity. But here in the United States, where we are, of course, the call is for more fiscal stimulus.
So, I mean, on the plus side, the response has been unprecedented relative to previous crises. So I think we have to make that point, which is the fact that fiscal policy, central bank policy, pretty much everywhere in the world responded in big magnitudes, big sizes, in unprecedented ways. $12 trillion. Now, of course, most of that has happened in the advanced economies, much less in developing countries. But on the other hand, this crisis is huge. I mean, the real shock to economies has been something like we haven't seen in decades, and the pandemic is still with us, so this crisis is far from over. So yes, so countries like the US that have the fiscal space should continue with providing support and stimulus to their economies. They're able to do that, and it would be premature to withdraw support at this time.
The damage is great. Economies are in trouble. As you look at the world at the moment, what is your biggest fear for what happens next?
My biggest fear is the fact that things could actually even get worse, which is that we still don't have an end. We're hoping for an end to this pandemic at some point, but we don't have that solution yet. And I'm less worried about the science and more about the economics, which is that while there are treatments and vaccines and testing that's being developed, there is not enough cooperation to ensure there's sufficient production and distribution to all parts of the world.
The chief economist of the IMF.